All right. Good morning, good people. I hope folks are there with us. There they go.
Hey. All right. We'll give everybody 2 minutes to load in. It's good to see people popping in.
All right. And don't feel like you have to be shy and hide behind your camera this morning.
I know. We're gonna be calling you guys out, so be ready.
All right, Kevin, we hear you. We don't see you, man.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna change with my laptop because I don't. Give me 1 second.
All right. Hey, that could be my brother Kevin. Is that Kevin coming in from Dubai? I'm not.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Very cool.
Nice having you, my brother. Nice having you. Hey, Sister Sue.
Sue, good morning.
Give me 1 second.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
All right, Ross, I see that you are driving. Be careful out there, but glad to have you online with us.
Yeah, glad to meet you too.
And we have Wilfred. Are you there? Can you hear us? All right, Wilfred, I don't know if you can hear us, but good morning. Now, everybody, I know this is a workshop, but trust me when I say I'm gonna make this as engaging and interactive as I can. So be prepared. You're welcome to hang out on camera, but definitely have a microphone. I want you to plug into this very well. Jesse, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jarvis. I'm well. How are you?
Good, I'm good. It's beautiful decorations in the background there. So you all ready?
Listen, I'm ready. I've been ready. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Recording.
All right, Ronnie, good morning. How are you doing? Ronnie, I see the lips moving, but you're muted.
Good. Thank you. Yourself.
All right, good. Ronnie, tell us about your business, man. What do you do?
Run Shine is my business. It's a car detailing business, mobile. So I go from place to place, either at your business or your home, and detail your vehicle. And just recently, I started into the boats and sea-doos. So we're offering that as well, mobile service.
And you said Ron Shine, that's the name of your business?
Run Shine, correct. Yes, Run Shine.
I like it. That's a nice ring to it, sir.
Thank you.
And where are you located?
I'm located on the South Shore, and I have a shop in Montreal on the west side, by Victoria and Jean Talon West.
All right.
I have a shop there, yes. But I do mobile everywhere.
All right, excellent. No, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to see you this morning.
Thank you.
Jesse, I'm coming over to you, Jesse, again. Tell us a little bit about your business and where you're located.
Well, good morning. Good morning. My name is Jessie. I am located in Montreal, Canada. It is snowing up a storm up in here. You have no idea. What I do is I am a certified life coach, and I empower women to empower themselves. So for them to gain clarity and to have winning strategies for them to implement the change that they want in their lives. That's what I do.
All right. I love it. I love it. If I were a woman, I'd be calling you up right now. That was a very strong statement there. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Morning, Pharaoh.
Morning.
Oh, Farrah, you are muted too.
I know. I was like, I didn't hear that. Hey. Morning, Queen. Nice seeing you. Awesome. All right, cool. So basically, let's get started. I'm sure people will be filing in as we get this going. So we'll dive right in. So you guys know like how I like to get down. So I'm always grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator. I'm grateful to our ancestors for creating this opportunity for us to be able to get together this morning. And I just ask that the time that we spend, let it be very productive, let it be very efficient, and let it be very uplifting for all our entrepreneurs and business owners who are going to be who are joining us this morning and who will be jumping on. Hotep, amen, and ashe, everybody. So thank you all for being here. I'm really excited for this op. This is what we've coined our business booster workshop with our brother Jarvis Gray. And here I'll let him introduce himself. So for those who don't know the OFC, I'm going to play a short little clip to give you guys just a little idea of about the OFC. You guys are going to see it's going to talk about the OFC and a collaboration that we have with BNI. For those who don't know, BNI is Business Networking International. So give me a quick sec. I'll play this clip. It's a quick little 2-minute clip, so you guys know a little bit more about us and what we do. And then we will dive right in. Share. There we go. You guys seeing my screen? Yes, perfect.
Peace. I'm Farah Hamid Freeman, founder and director of the OFC. We're also known as the One Full Circle Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network, founded October 2011. I'm honored for this opportunity to introduce you all to the OFC. But more importantly, I'm excited for what this OFC BNI collaboration will economically do for your business, your family, and our community. The OFC is dedicated to bridging the gap between the French and the English-speaking melanated community, and to empowering the community by providing culturally adapted resources and support. But the power of the OFC is in our network. We serve a community of over 16,000 members. Our members consist of entrepreneurs and business owners, as well as individuals and families. All members are committed to supporting each other in order to create a solid economic foundation for ourselves and our future generations. Within the OFC, we understand that by supporting your business, your company will expand and will eventually create employment opportunities for our youth. Our model is simple. Members come to us for products and services, and we refer them to you. At the end of the day, we may have amazing products and services, but we need access to clients willing to spend money in our businesses in order for us to thrive. This collaboration is doing exactly that and more. Being accepted as a member of an OFC BNI chapter means that you will benefit from the powerful business-to-business networking and coaching from BNI, in addition to the constant flow of clients and support from the OFC. Like BNI says, we are stronger together. But don't take my word for it. Get involved and experience the benefits for yourself. If this opportunity is right for you, let me be the first to welcome you to the OFC community and to the BNI family. To get started with the OFC, simply sign up at ofccommunity.com. Our member success representatives are ready to be at your service. In the meantime, please remember to think of us first for all your community and business needs. Thank you again for your time and enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Peu importe ce que vous faites.
Unmute. Awesome. All right. So that, whoops, hold on. No, this is still talking in the background. Turn this off, turn that off, and back to you guys. Good stuff. You guys hear me okay still? Good stuff. Okay, great. So that is the OFC in a nutshell. So we are glad for this collaboration between the OFC and BNI. In essence, the OFC, we are a community resource. We're here to support the needs of their community at large. And as people come to us, we refer them to you guys. Throughout the day, throughout our workshop, I'll be sharing in the chat, so you guys will have the links if anybody's interested in getting involved and would like to find out more information about the OFC. I'd love to hear from you. Also, just to remind you guys, this is a free workshop that we've made possible, again, thanks to Jarvis Gray and Quality Coaching. But as you guys know, we are a nonprofit organization, so if you guys do see value in what we've presented, you guys are welcome to contribute and give us a donation. I will also share our little PayPal link or an email. If you guys want to send an email transfer, you guys will be able to do that as well. So with no further ado, I'm going to cede the floor to our brother, Jarvis Gray. Thank you, King.
All right. No, thank you, Pharaoh, for everything. I love watching the video before a presentation like this. It's like right before you get on a flight and we have to put on all our safety gear. So I feel like we're about to fly high on everything we're getting into this morning. Let me just double down on a few things really quickly before I pull up my screen, but I just want to say you all do not know how fortunate you are to have a leader like Pharaoh with his passion, his vision for everything he's trying to pull together. So please take an opportunity to donate to the cause, to support doing workshops like this at no cost. But just want to say, Pharaoh, thank you and good morning, everyone. Good morning from Atlanta, Georgia, where I've been complaining all morning about a 44-degree start. So I know you all are probably in a tougher situation. I heard someone mention snow. There she is. Jesse said it's snowing. So let me pull up my screen, everyone. And please know that I love conversations, not presentations. So I am going to go through some standard information, but I want you all to be prepared. Have, pen, paper, take notes. There'll be certain spots that I'm going to stop and ask for your engagement. Do not leave this time today with questions about how to grow your business. That's what we're going to talk about. The title of today's workshop, as you see, is Planning for Sales Growth, and we're going to talk about strategies for profit acceleration. So please just know, whatever you questions, use the chat at certain times. If you could, just wave your hand so I can see it pop up to the top of my screen here. If you have a question, just let me know. But this is going to be kind of a snippet of a much longer workshop that I do here in Atlanta for local business owners and entrepreneurs. But we're going to do it kind of in a virtual setting and long enough to engage everybody, but not long enough to put you to sleep. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So when my team and I, when we came up with this entire topic, this entire presentation, this is very much going to be geared towards anyone who is a business owner, entrepreneur, a business leader. If you are a coach, if you are just an expert in your respective fields. About a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, I had the opportunity to publish my first book called The Business Revenue Playbook, which I know Farrell has shared a digital copy. So thank you for that again. But the goal of that book was literally sharing strategies that I use with my clients on a daily basis to help them move their businesses forward. And then when the pandemic kicked in, we had the idea to just turn the book into a workshop. So that's the conversation, again, that we're having today. But if you all are in a position where you're trying to figure out how to sell more of your products and your services, if you're looking for best practices in marketing, which from my work, I see a lot of small business owners do not know immediately what are some of the best practices that will help them move their businesses forward without spending a lot of money on marketing and advertising, right? That's the catch. If you're out there, I mean, a lot of folks don't understand how lonely entrepreneurship can be at times. And the only people that kind of get an entrepreneur is another entrepreneur. So again, you're in the right spot if these things start to hit home. Last but not least, if you find that you're able to make sales, but you do not predictably know when the next sale is coming, all of the strategies we're going to get into today will start to cure a lot of those issues. So my hope, again, is really by the end of our time today, you're going to come out of this conversation with either new ideas, the beginning parts of an actual roadmap. Like literally, I want you all to game plan and strategize with me on this call right now today, which is perfect timing because we're right at the beginning of a new year where everybody's coming up with new goals and strategies anyway. So leverage this time to literally start to put together that focus for anything you're doing with respects to sales and marketing. So the strategies that we're going to get into, and just kind of doing a time check, my guess is that we'll get through maybe at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 at most. But these are the 8 strategies taken directly out of the book that Farrell shared. And so we are just going to kind of piece through them one by one. But again, I just want to give you the confidence, even if you just check out the book itself, you'll have the opportunity to read through the different strategies, some examples of how the strategies work. And then the practical conversation that we'll have tonight or today that, I want you to have even on your own is how do I make these strategies work in my business? So again, pen, paper, I'm just going to share the strategies, the background, and then we're going to talk about applying it to your business. Let me go ahead and share this now. At the end of our time today, I am going to make you all an offer that if you would like to have a no-cost one-on-one strategy session with me, completely open to it. I'll share a link to my calendar. All you have to do is simply jump on my calendar. It will be about a 90-minute session and just a chance to go through, have a good conversation, and create a very robust strategic roadmap based on these same strategies. So outside of that, I want you all to use this time now. I'm here, and I kind of go with the ask me anything kind of approach. So I'm putting a lot of emphasis on, feel free to ask me anything. I guess I should probably introduce myself. So my name is Jarvis Gray, originally from Miami, Florida. Now living in Atlanta, like I shared. So me complaining about 44-degree weather is valid. That's just, it's not my thing. Currently, I serve all of my clients as a business growth strategist. So with that, I can find any of my small business clients a minimum of $50,000 of untapped revenue potential in their business, and do so in about 45 minutes or less, guaranteed. By background, I am an industrial engineer, which is basically a business engineer. I served as a healthcare executive for about 15 years before finally getting tired of working the 80+ hour weeks, and figured if I'm going to work this hard, I might as well do it on my own. Since then, I've been fortunate. Again, I love doing workshops, so I do nonstop workshops, especially before the pandemic kicked in. This year alone, one of the things that I'm proud about and still kind of kicking myself in the butt about is that I've been able to find most of my clients about $10 million of new revenue growth opportunity. A lot of it, through those strategic sessions that I mentioned. The thing that I'm kicking myself in the butt about is that the goal was 15 million. So my team and I, we've been able to serve well. We still kind of missed our mark, but we're kind of resetting everything with some new goals for the new year ahead. Get prepared. I'm going to ask for a little bit of engagement on this next slide coming up, but I call this the why slide because I know back in 2017 when I made the decision to leave a great 6-figure plus corporate job and to start from scratch, to build my business, it was really because, again, I was tired of the hours, tired of slaving away for other folks, wanted to be my own boss, right? Have that job or, that business where I could travel all over the world, the laptop lifestyle, if you all have ever heard of that. And then I figured out, building a business, a successful business, and doing the work are two different things. So for 2 whole years before I finally got smart and went and got myself a business coach, some professional help, I struggled. And I think the struggle was worthy. I think I needed to go through the struggle and adapt and get smarter. But what I also came to realize when I struggled and I was ready to give up and kind of go back to the corporate life, I also remembered my why. And so the why is the thing that it just pushes me even to this day. So the picture on the screen here, obviously my kids, Amelia and Jacob. Believe it or not, Jacob is literally sitting right here next to me. Farah and I have had some great conversations. I believe in work-life integration. So my 9-year-old could probably write copy for some of you all if you ever need a copywriter. But for me, growing up down in Miami, Florida, in the middle of the 80s, I call it the Scarface era. I was, exposed to a lot of drugs, a lot of violence. My 16-year-old mother at the time had me. We were homeless on the streets down there. One of the most gruesome days I remember was seeing my best friend get shot on my front porch and then having to go outside the next day and clean it up. So when I think about my why now, it's really because I know I don't want my kids to ever experience the lifestyle I had. So at this point, failure is not an option. So I have that. I have so many more stories that I can dig into about when I really thought about why I got into business, why it was so important to find success. But let me stop there really, really quickly. And let me just ask you for your why. I would love maybe 2 or 3 people at least, if you would want to just come on and share a quick story about your why. Why are you all doing this? There's so many ways in this world to make money, right? But entrepreneurship, owning a business, building a business, this is not for the weak. So I'm curious just to ask or learn really quickly, what's your why? What drives you to find success? Any
So I could definitely jump in real quick, as you guys know that my background is also in business and sales and in marketing, and I found that regardless of how much success I had in business, without a sense of community, my children would have to go through the same kind of rat race. So I really wanted to create this sense of community, this sense of, like the old school kind of mentality where you have aunties and uncles that are looking out for you. I wanted to recreate that kind of sense of community. So that's my why, is to really rebuild unity between us as members of the melanated community globally, so that we can start to build a solid foundation for our future generations. So that's why I do what I do.
Love it, Farrell. Thank you so much for sharing. Any other takers on that? Jesse, did I see a hand?
Yes. So my why is lost. I don't want to say lost, but I was in the corporate world here in Canada for 15 years. And although I had the business and all the perks, the career, the salary and all, there was something missing. I knew I wanted to be a coach, but it was always in the back burner. And eventually life caught up and I couldn't push it off. 8 years ago, my firstborn son was stillborn, and that changed everything for me. So that dream that I had of one day, I know that tomorrow is not promised. And that was a catalyst for me to, you know what, I have to do this. And which is why I'm so passionate about helping women to thrive in every aspect, because you can have the big, the job and everything, but if there's something missing on the inside, it's possible for you to change that. So, and now that I have 2 daughters, I want to help them. I want to be that role model for them to know that it is possible regardless of what happened in the past. So that's my big why.
No, Jesse, I love that. I'll say for me, I had been kind of rolling my business as a side hustle, quote unquote side hustle, for some years. And when my daughter was about 3 weeks old, I was up at about 12 o'clock at night with her, kind of holding her right here. And with my right hand, I was on my computer on LegalZoom doing all my paperwork. I was like, forget side hustle. This is about to be the only thing. So children will bring one heck of a why. And I'm so sorry to hear about your son as well, but it's part of the story. That grind, that hustle, that why, it'll push you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing.
Hi, good morning. My name is Fred Cox. I am a co-owner with my wife in a company called Liquid Green Products. We make a line of green products. And I look at your slide here in terms of why, and I have some similarities. I think I can speak on behalf of my wife. She's going to be here shortly. We started our business simply because of the experience we had with our kids and allergies and products that were extremely harsh to the skin and to the environment. And so our why was to create a product or a line of products that could mitigate some of these issues that not just us, but a lot of families are experiencing. And so we started off kind of a side hustle, and it became something more of a permanent thing, because I personally don't like working for people. And I told my kids that from the very, very young. I told my kids, look, you're not going to be working for anybody, even if you have to package dog doo-doo and sell it, right? Create your own business. And that was my philosophy. Unfortunately, they picked up on that. They have their own businesses. But the thing is, one of the things that my wife and I also enjoy and would like to do at some point in time is to travel the world without having to worry about money. And with our business, we have the potential to have a multi-million-dollar business, but there's some things that are lacking, some things that are eluding, and we want to figure out what it is. We've been at it too long not to be at the stage where we're at. And I think the time has come where we would like to focus more on the Black community, because within the Black community, there are a lot of problems with sensitivity and harsh chemicals that they're using. And so I think the time has come for us to really focus on that area, right? And that's basically our why.
I love that. Again, I mean, Fred, just that first mindset you shared, I'm not built to work for other people. I remember when I had that feeling in my corporate life, and then I'd look at people, I'd sit in meetings and just kind of have that look like, why am I here? Right. So Fred, I appreciate hearing that, the fact that you're rolling it into your kids' mindset. And then the focus on communities, Black communities. I will say absolutely, you're on the right, workshop today. If you don't take any ideas out of today's conversation, I'm not doing my job for you. So thank you for sharing. Let's go one more person, Diamond Passion.
Hi, my name is Maisha McLothin.
Okay.
I own Diamond's Passion, tax service, and general merchandising. I'm an accountant. My aunt taught me as a little kid, around 11 years old, how to do general merchandising to run my own business. I didn't want to leave that out. So what I did, I bought a parcel of land, a steel building. I built it from the ground up. I ran electrical, soil test, compaction reports, you name it, all the land engineering, add clay to the dirt, laid the foundation, the plumbing, and got everything put together. It's just a steel building. I still have to go in, insulate it, and put the drywall up to make it my own store. It's a 60 by 40 foot steel building.
And are you
But
physically doing it yourself?
I'm physically doing it with the help of others.
Understand, yeah. But you're out there, hands in the dirt, on the grind.
Hello.
All right.
And I'm trying to get everything done and set up and created. I'm a grandmother. I have 5 grandchildren. I have 4 children, 1 daughter and 3 sons. And from a little kid, I was taught to work for myself, from farming. My grandmother took us out in the backyard in the garden. We did gardening. We grew our own fruit and vegetables in our yard right here in Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles, California. From there, my Aunt Chris, she took me downtown. She taught me how to get a wholesale license, a seller's permit. And I've been selling general merchandise for other people's stores all over the place. I have my own website, diamondspassion.com, where I do tax services and general merchandising services. Feel free to look me up. And I need some support. I need some direction. I don't know everything. I went to school. I studied as much as I could, but some of this stuff just isn't written in a book.
All right. All right. So I hope you heard, the very beginning of our conversation today. Any questions you have as I get into our content in just a minute here, please ask questions. But I just want to give you all the support and love right now, because that's what I love about entrepreneurs. Who better to just roll up their sleeve and say, I'm gonna make this dream happen. So thank you for sharing that insight, and the fact that someone passed the knowledge on to you. You got the grandkids. I know you're gonna pass it on to the babies. I love that.
My
Teresa?
10-year-old son actually helped me with creating my website.
Nice.
We hired in web developers, marketers, designers. It's a professional site. I have a back office to my website. I connected to different companies for supplies. And basically, I taught him how to do everything that I'm doing. He's 10 years old.
There you go. Yeah. See, and that piece right there is going to be the thing that changes the future for all of our communities. So no, thank you again. And let me ask Teresa, did I see a hand come up for you as well?
Yes. So my why, is my why are my son and my granddaughter. My older son, who's the father of my granddaughter, he passed a couple of years ago. And my son now was actually in the hospital. I'm in Toronto because he's in the hospital on life support. And they have been my why. My son was premature, and I went through it not understanding what I needed to do for him. So as a result, I created my business to help parents, know what to do with their children who are premature, to help them meet developmental milestones. I've written a book on this subject because, again, I can't be everywhere, and I want to be, just to be able to share that with them, because I still ask myself questions, even though my son, he thrived. I still ask myself, what I could have done better.
Yeah.
So I don't want parents to have those questions. And that's why I do what I do.
Teresa, again, sister, thank you for sharing that. I mean, it don't get no better than that. And I know these feelings can kind of bring out the emotions, but that's intentional to this conversation, because for me, I know it took me breaking down, feeling like a failure at different times in my business. There were times when my wife would look at me and say, "Are you contributing to the household this month?" And it's the reason why, again, I figured it out. I did what I had to do. I found the right people, built my networks for success. But the thing that I love about this conversation is that not one person got on and said, "I'm just trying to take advantage of people. I'm just trying to sell as much as I can. I just want to be a millionaire." Nobody says that. Entrepreneurs are just built different. And that's what I really wanted to highlight as well. We want to build legacies, protect our families, protect our communities. So everybody, thank you all just for jumping in on that. Please feel free to drop more feedback in the text or in the chat. And everybody, take the opportunity to share some information about you all in the chat as well. You'll have the chance before the end of our call today to just save that and to pull it out, to share it later, to look through it, to connect with each other. Let's go one more, only because I know this gentleman and his work fairly well, but Dr. Eric Kelly, and then I'm gonna jump back into this material for today. Dr. Kelly, are you there?
Yes, of course. I like to say hello to all the kings and queens in the house, and it's always great when I get an opportunity just to say a few words. My why is to connect Black people all over the world so they can do global business and not be locked into just doing business locally. I am the proud founder of the Black Business Olympics. We do a 24-hour network that allows business owners to speak to business owners all over the globe. It doesn't cost you anything, because my why is to raise scholarships for kids, to help them to go to school so that our kids can see a different world other than the entertainment culture, which is basketball, football, and the things that our kids are raised to do. Give our kids a chance to see another side of business. One of the things that I always say, many of my kids ask when they come to the Black Business Olympics is, where did I find all the Black businesses? And the way that I found all the Black businesses, I go to meetings like this. And Jarvis, great, I need some mentoring, brother. You're doing a great job. Thank you so very much. And I'm really enjoying your presentation. And I just like to say to everyone this afternoon, it's still this morning, if you are in business and you'd like to present your business to a global audience, please get in touch with the Black Business Olympics. And if you don't know anything about it, you can always go to YouTube. And on YouTube, we have all of the Black Business Olympics information from 2020 when we pivoted until now. We've done over 2,100 business owners. And again, I want to thank you, Jarvis, for giving me an opportunity to speak. And anytime that you call, brother, I'm going to show up. Thanks again.
All right. No, Dr. Kelly, just complete open transparency for everybody. Dr. Kelly, I want to introduce you to my friend Pharaoh. Pharaoh, Dr. Kelly, I'm going to need you two to get on the call and have a conversation, but we'll work that out after today. But thank you so much, Dr. Kelly.
And thank you.
All right, guys. So let's get into our conversation. Again, thank you, everyone, just for taking a minute to share your why. That's a very vulnerable mindset, but it's so important because, again, that why will have us fight in tooth and claw to be successful for everything that we share today. The area that I want to start with you all is going to really be around generating leads in your business. This is a starting point that I love to start with to really jump in on. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this, and then the rest of the strategies tend to go a little bit faster because this is the absolute foundation of business. This is also one of the areas that I see small businesses, they struggle the most with. How to generate leads, how to get people's eyeballs on their business. But this is one of the starting places for me when I'm coaching with the business owners I work with. This is the foundation of a lot of stuff And then opportunities tend to open up fairly well afterwards. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if you all got the workbook for today's workshop, but feel free to follow along. I will say, if nothing else, again, this is where I want you all to literally take out pen and paper, make sure you have something to take some notes, even if it's just an iPhone and you're texting the notes to yourself, but we're about to dig in for a little bit. So one of the starting places, just to go ahead and highlight this. So in every business, 100% of all businesses, I don't care if you're a big business, small business, or anything in between, every business has 6 core processes that they have to have just absolutely solid understanding of how these pieces help your business to move forward. So everything from your strategy processes, your operations, your people, the types of systems that you're going to use in your business. And I say systems stands for saving you stress, time, energy, and money, right? That's your systems, your financial processes. Then, of course, sales and marketing. So today's conversation is all about sales and marketing. But with all the workshops and things that I do, I have a little bit of something for every element. But this is the foundation. I need you all to understand how well are you doing these components in your business. Purely from a sales and marketing point of view, when we start to try to understand what does it really take to be successful in our business as it relates to sales and marketing, I've broken it down into these 5 additional phases. So anything from your business foundations, or I like to call it business development, to your processes for getting and generating more leads in your business, more conversions, more transactions with your customers, your clients, and then growing more profits in your business. Does that all make sense? All right. So here's the kicker, y'all. When you start to dig deeper in each of those 5 areas, they quickly explode into over 20 plus areas of, strategies, tasks, to-dos, just things for small business owners that we now have to figure out. The reality is most of us are solopreneurs, or we're very small teams, right? We don't have all these resources and people to tackle every single area here. And remember, again, this is just sales and marketing. Now, I said we were going to start our conversation today, excuse me, talking about more leads. How do we get more leads into our business, right? So nowadays, if we're focused on generating more leads, a default in a lot of ways will be digital marketing. And so when we look at just digital marketing quickly blows up into nearly 40 additional tasks, to-do, strategies, whatever you want to call it, that small business owners have to figure out. And now this is where I start to see a lot of overwhelm kicking in with a lot of the clients that I serve, is because when you tell them digital marketing, that means you need to figure out your website, your SEO. You got to keep up with your analytics on your website, your social media, right? Pick a social media site, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. TikTok is literally the biggest website or the most active website in the world right now, right? Blogs, if you do podcasts. So there's so much just within one slice of this pie. And then we zoom back out to see, again, there are other slices of this pie that we have to figure out. And so each one of these can have anywhere from about 15 to 40 additional strategies, tasks, to-dos, all of the above, that then again, we as business owners have to figure out if you want to be successful, or if you want to optimize the results in your business. And again, this is where a lot of that overwhelm, I like to call it, kicks in, because this is where I start saying, if we think we are the CEOs of our business, that CEO is not a chief executive officer, it's a chief everything officer, right? Because we're the ones wearing all that responsibility, that success, the failures, we're wearing it on our shoulders each and every day. So let me just stop there and ask, does this resonate with you all? Have you all seen yourselves or other business owners kind of going through this overwhelm, trying to figure out their business? All right, I see some head nods, at least from the view of the screen I got. Let me ask this. So what's the outcome? When people are going through this, what's the outcome? Feel free if
Stress,
Burnout.
stress,
yep, stress, burnout, absolutely.
not
Unfortunately,
enough hands.
not enough hands. I
A
see
lot
that.
of anxiety.
Anxiety, absolutely.
There are a couple of things for us. For example, it always seems as though there are not enough hours in the day. Sometimes I feel as though I have to be like an Indian god. You got to have several hands to do, many things. And so frustration steps in, you get tired and you don't accomplish much. And that's the frustration, right?
No, Fred, thank you. That mimics so much of what I always hear when I'm having this conversation. And again, that's why I always have to center us with our why, because the only thing that is probably slowing that stress, that overwhelm, that anxiety, the only thing that's probably slowing it down is you guys come back to your why. That's the only thing that'll make you kind of regroup at the end of the day and say, all right, shake it off. Tomorrow's another day, right? But now what if we started to simplify that thought? And that's the goal of today's conversation. So let me ask you all really quickly, are you all familiar with the 80-20 rule for business? Has anybody heard of this concept? All right, I see a couple of thumbs up. Fred, would you be okay maybe jumping on and sharing us what do you know about the rule or teach us?
The 80-20 rule is actually a whole lifestyle thing, even in your whole life. For nutrition, if you eat 80% right and you do 20% other things, you're still okay. So it's a rule that is almost universal. So if you apply 80% of your time, then that's the way I understand it. Then
No, you're right. You're heading in the right direction. And I'm going to apply it to my eating because right after this, me and my son, we're going to the movies and I'm probably going to eat about 80% junk food. And I hope it only has about 20% of the impact.
It's the other way around though, right? The 20% is the junk.
No. So let me, oh, actually, my friend, Cara, please.
Hi, I'm actually folding laundry. Otherwise I would put my camera. So it's 20% of the effort usually results in 80% of the outcome. So for sales, it's usually 20% of the salespeople contribute to 80% of the profit. And Janet's right, it does apply to other areas of your life as well. 20% of your operations or the back end stuff results in 80% of the outcome of your operations.
Perfect. Spot on. So this is based off of what's called Pareto's principle, which was done a couple hundred years ago and identified that 20% of the wealth or 80% of the wealth was owned by 20% of the people. Now you apply the same concept. Cara, thank you so much. You apply it right now into business. What we learn is that 80% of our revenues can come from 20% of our strategies. So this is, again, now we're taking all of that overwhelm we've been talking about and we're going to simplify it. But I'd say this is also the challenge and the opportunity that so many of us have is trying to figure out what is the 20% in our businesses that will produce the 80% of the results. So the way that I broke it down and what you'll find in the book when you all get to read through that is that I've broken it down into what I like to call my 5 areas of profit acceleration. So that is a mindset that I share for all of my clients. I mean, to make money in your business is one thing. We all want great revenues, but revenues feed our egos. Profits feed our families, right? So I want everybody from this day forward to really, really focus on the profit mindset. So that's where we're going. The 5 steps of this profit acceleration mindset that I want to share with you all, and we're going to start to dig in deep in a lot of these areas, will center around, first, again, more leads. How do we generate more leads into our business? How do we convert more? And when I say convert more, it's turning those leads, those ideal prospects, into clients. Now, I always love to say they're not a real client until they pay in full and on time. If you guys are making sales and people are not paying in full and on time for you, we got to have other conversations. Now, once you make those conversions, you want to turn them into more transactions, right? We want to develop relationships with our customers and clients so they keep coming back to us. We want to implement recurring revenue models in our businesses. We want to also focus on adding more value or increasing our prices appropriately. Last but not least is the focus on generating more profit. So managing our costs, managing our margins, so we can hit this to the best of our abilities. Now, this is really, again, the crux of everything that I do with my clients, is starting to break down these conversations and then how do we operationalize it in their business. I think, again, just looking at our time, we'll get through a couple of these concepts. I want to highlight a quick example of maybe all 5 areas of this, the impact that it can create or the compounding nature of success. And then before our time is over today, I'll also do a real life demonstration with our simulated calculator for this. But let's say really quickly, guys. So again, maybe the first takeaway on this slide is I need you all to always, always, always know your numbers. So where I want to start with this is, you know, if we were a business, we're getting so many leads per year. So my first question to you all, do you track how many leads you're getting in your business per day, per week, per year? That is a number that I really, really want you to start to figure out. So maybe that's a note for yourselves, is that we have to track our metrics. I don't know if you all watch shows like Shark Tank. That's one of my favorite shows to watch. But that's one of the things they're always saying to the entrepreneurs and the business owners on that one, right? You got to know your numbers, know your numbers. So anyway, let's just say for us in this quick example, if we are doing 1,000 leads per year, and we're converting these leads at a rate of about 25%, which is not a bad conversion rate, then ultimately we're doing about 250 sales per year. Everybody following me? Perfect. So then with this product within our business, we're doing about 10 transactions on average per year, to the tune of about $100 per transaction. So effectively, we're doing $250,000 per year. We have profit margins at about 25%. So guys, we don't have a bad business model here. We're doing about 62,500 every year in profit. Everybody follow me so far? Perfect, because where I want to go with this, I want to show you, so a few things on this. Let's say if we have a 10% improvement in our business over the course of a year. Let me stop there though and just simply ask, why is improving your business every year by a minimum of about 10%? Why is that important? Anybody want to share a thought? Why it is absolutely essential that you have a 10%?
Keep up with inflation.
Keep up with inflation, and it's
That's
a
what I was gonna
steady
say
growth.
too, yeah.
There we go. We got to keep up with inflation. I'm here in Atlanta, so I'm in the States. Last I looked, inflation was still floating somewhere between 7 to 8%, right? So if we're not doing 10% improvements every year, your average growth rate across most markets, at least here in the US, is somewhere between 4 to 7%. So minimum 10%. I just want to place that as a standard growth rate for you all to target every year. So again, we're almost at the end of this calendar year. Minimum goals to set 10%. But if we see a 10% improvement in each of these 5 areas, we quickly go from a $62,500 revenue or profit margin to over 6 figures in the course of 1 year, simply by focusing our areas into these 5 key areas. Now, this is an improvement, and I think hopefully most of you would be happy to almost double your profits every single year. But the standard that I set with a lot of my clients is we're trying to have a 50% improvement or more. And I would like to say, I mean, when you really have the focus, when you make this intentional, this can be the expectation across the board, but it does require work and intent. But you see, we quickly go from $62,500 to almost $500,000 over the course of a year. Now, we're going to get into the strategies that can make this happen, a 700+% improvement. But before I jump into the strategies, I do want to open this up for a conversation, because I always like to draw out what is working or what may not be working for small businesses as it relates to marketing, for lead generation, et cetera. First question, what are you all currently doing to promote your business? What's working? Flyers, lead magnets, webinars, networking? I would love you guys open up and just share some thoughts or drop them in the chat as well.
Right now it's networking. Like for us, it's every networking opportunity creates more visibility for what we're doing.
All right, perfect. Networking, so kind of the word of mouth mindset.
Networking for me, as well as social media, podcast interviews, business expos. That's pretty much it.
All right, and when you say social media, is that organic or paid social media?
That would be organic.
Organic, okay, perfect, thank you.
Uh,
I love the podcast process. So that's called guesting. When you are a guest on a podcast or a YouTube show or whatever. So that strategy, everyone, is called guesting. Thank you, Jesse, for that. Sorry, Fred.
For us, networking was the thing prior to COVID. COVID came and knocked all of that out. So we are in a rebuilding process with that. Trade shows and stuff like that was our major source of income. Now we have the Liquid Green Health Show that is proving to be one of the main source of generating leads for us.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Cara.
Networking has been good for exposure, but also the thing that's really helped is just partnering, finding strategic partners within the community that do complementary work that we can kind of piggyback off of each other's client base.
All right, I love it. Cara, we're going to come to you when we start talking about joint ventures, strategic partnerships. Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, no, let me ask really quickly, anybody has a website? And if so, how many leads does your website produce, let's just say per week or month? All right, maybe first question, who has a website? Let me break it down into two questions. All right, let's see, Fred has a website, Jesse, I'm just going by the folks I can see. Ron has one, Wilfred, Kevin. All right, so a lot of everybody has websites. Let me ask, whose websites does your website produce at least 50% of your leads per month?
No.
No. And that's an area that we definitely need assistance with.
Right. So I heard no's, I heard not at all's. Fred, thank you. So quick statistic, everyone. Websites only produce the global average of about 3% of conversions for any business. So they are notoriously useless when it comes to sales and marketing. What they do give you an online presence. If somebody meets you, they're probably going to look you up, but they're not really worth their weight sometimes. So let's talk about it.
So I don't feel too badly then.
No,
Okay.
no, I hate to tell you, you guys are in the norm. If you, there are exceptions to every rule, right? There's always gray in every scenario, but websites are not usually the best, but they do serve a purpose. So it's just not always going to be towards generating leads or closing sales. Let's talk about this then, because hopefully this will help with reinvigorating your websites or any of your marketing collateral. So what I want to highlight are the elements, right? The secrets to success when we talk about marketing. So a few of the things that I do want to highlight, and then we're going to get into the examples.
And sorry, Brother Jarvis, we have a hand up as well, okay? So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wilfred, please.
Oh, sorry. It was just because of the website question. So I forgot to put down the hand.
Put your hand down. No, thank you. Diamond, Diamond, I know Diamond's not your real name, but forgive me, I forgot. Please, you're muted. All right, now you just have us in suspense.
Okay.
All right, work on the mute. As soon as you come off mute, jump back in and let me know, or put it in the chat. I do need to open my chat, guys. I'm probably missing conversations in the chat.
I'm monitoring it. So far as the comments, no questions is coming in the chat yet. I got you.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Farrell. But no, guys, so to be successful in marketing, the first thing I want you to understand is that we have to be able to understand the conversation that's taking place in the heads of our prospects, or another way that I really want you to look at it is that you have to be able to address the number one question in the minds of your prospects at just the right time. And the way you do is it's actually a really simple way of thinking, or a very simple fundamental to understand, is that every prospect, even us, because we are consumers, every person has two main questions going on in their minds at any given time when it comes to buying. And it's first understanding that there is a problem that they have and don't want. Second is that there is a solution that they want but don't have. And believe it or not, there is a marketing formula, at least the one that I teach with my clients, that can actually help you start to connect the dots on a lot of this. And it looks like this. It's called the conversion equation. And for me, a lot of what I do, again, I said I'm an engineer. So I'm all about equations and formulas because they produce predictable results. Okay. We all know H2O is, shout it out for me.
Water.
Water, right? We all know 1 + 1 is 2, right? These are equations and formulas that are intentionally created for you to produce predictable results. So the conversion equation is no different. It's a 4-step model that can help increase conversions of anything you're doing when it comes to marketing. So it's interrupt, engage, educate, and offer is the model. So when we talk about the interrupt, what we're looking at, this would be like the headline on any of your websites, any of your social media. It will be the first thing people hear when they hear you speak, the first thing they see when they land on your collateral, whether it's a website or social media posts. But it will directly address the problem that your prospects have and they don't want. Now, once you interrupt them, you have their attention. We know today attention spans aren't worth anything. So you have to engage them really quickly. And the way that I want you to engage them is then with a sub headline that highlights the solution or the promise that they want but don't have. Then we have to take the time to educate. So when we educate, whether you do it verbally or in writing, it will provide evidence to your prospects that you, your products, your services, that you are the absolute best at whatever it is. You are far superior to the competition. And this is where I see a lot of small businesses completely miss the buck. So this is your opportunity when we're talking about educating. This is your opportunity to be innovative, to differentiate yourself, to stand out from the rest of the competition. I like to call it creating a market dominating position. I don't want you all competing with everyone else. I want you all to be the only, right? So when you're the only, that's a whole new level of competition. The last thing that you have to do after that is then make an offer. You have to entice them to take the next step in your buying journey. I like to call it a mafia offer. You might hear it called a compelling offer, but it just has to be so irresistible that people would feel like idiots if they did not take the next step. So that's the conversion equation. Any thoughts or question on this? Because I am going to highlight a great example, and then we're going to talk about it for your business. All right, no questions. Everybody's good so far? So remember this model: interrupt, engage, educate, offer. Again, you'll find it in the book, but let's dig in. One of the things to highlight really quickly, though, 2 more concepts really. First is just recognizing that there is an oversaturation of marketing going on in the world right now. I was reading a report maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They say on average, we are hit with about 3,000 marketing messages every single day. So because of that, it can now require multiple touch points before your ideal prospects are ready to buy from you. Without the use of the conversion equation, it could take up to about 100 touches before your prospects are ready to buy. Now, I've proven it with my clients with the conversion equation. We can get that down to as few as about 5, but it still requires an appropriate process for following up. And again, that's where a lot of small businesses tend to lack a lot of the follow-up processes. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But the key takeaway here is that instead of just meeting people and connecting, we have to get to a point where we can collect their contact information, name, phone numbers, and email addresses at a bare minimum. And then we can build out follow-up processes in our business to do it very well. One other concept that I want you all to really, really take to heart is understanding the buyer's journey. So all of our buyers, even us, because again, we are consumers, we go through a process before we're finally ready to buy something. More or less, the people who may come into our business and buy right there on the spot, they represent a group of buyers that we call now buyers. And now buyers represent about 3% of your total buying population. 97% of the people who are potential customers for your business today, 97% of them just want more information before they're ready to buy. They want you to walk on that journey with them. And the journey looks like this. Is first, they need to kind of have an awareness, understand that there is a problem they have and don't want, and become aware of your products or services. Next, they're asking themselves, what are the benefits of ownership? They may also be trying to talk themselves out of it, especially right now with Christmas season and buying season that we're in. Like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? They go back and forth. We all do it. Last but not least, because the problem is not solved, they are a potential buyer until the problem is actually solved. Then they finally make up their mind and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Who do I buy it from? Right? So again, the conversion equation, believe it or not, walks through every step of this buying journey with our clients, with our prospects. So interrupt, engage, educate when they're going back and forth. Should I, should not? That's your educate opportunity. I think I'm ready to buy. Who do I buy it from? That's your offer. Got it? So some really quick examples. This was a past coaching client here, a financial advisor, where he had no elements of the conversion equation in any of his material. And I'd say even worse, when you look at his offer, and this is what I see a lot on websites across the board for everyone. His offer was, free consultations, the call me now. He even had a fax number. And I was like, I don't even know where to find a fax machine at nowadays. I have an app on my phone that will allow me to fax stuff, but this is what I tend to see on a lot of websites nowadays, the call me, fill out some information. He does have in the middle of his screen, the about me information. I hate to tell you all, your customers, your prospects, they don't care about you. They just care about your ability to maybe solve their problem. Now, once you educate them on that ability, then they might want to take some time to know you personally, right? Here's another example. This was out of, I think, past Texas with this client, and his big offer was phone numbers. What's even worse, I tend to see this a lot on business cards, right? Hey, schedule a free consultation, more of the call me mindset. So there's a lot of opportunities where we can increase the value that we're offering to people right through our websites, through our social pages, all of the above. So again, the big call out here is understanding your buyer's journey. A lot of small business owners that I work with, they may not even fully understand their buyer. So that might be the starting point. Who are you selling to? Who are your avatars? What's the profile of your ideal client? And then what's the process that they go through before they even buy your products or services, right? So this is a great example here, and it's going to lead into 2 strategies. So kind of a 2-for-1 here. But this was a past client as well, a child psychologist. Dr. Smith here is an absolute expert in the work that he does with children. But when he kicked off his business, he did what I think a lot of us are told to do right at the very beginning. I know is what I did back at the very beginning of my business, which was, hey, go get a great logo. Hey, put up a website, create a video welcoming people. Hey, I'm Dr. John Smith. You'll find tons and tons of research material about articles about childcare and child psychology. Hey, a matter of fact, call me, free consultation. I'm not going to sell you anything, right? No, we know what that call really is, right? So this is what a lot of us as small business owners are told. The SBA, no disrespect to them or anything, but these are the things they were telling me when I went to their offices to get up and running. Fred, please, I see a hand up.
My question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm listening to you and I'm seeing this. And if I just looked at it as a layperson, I'd say, oh, that looks pretty good. So I'm really wanting to, especially the ones that they say highlight your phone numbers and make sure it's big, this kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to hear what's wrong with these. Right. Because from a lay perspective, I'm saying, oh, this looks pretty good. And, it looks as if it has all the parameters that's needed.
All right. No,
okay.
if that wasn't the perfect alley-oop right there. No, that's exactly where we're going, because for Dr. Smith here, I mean, the conversation was really quick and easy. Hey, Dr. Smith, have you heard of this thing called a conversion equation? Of course, the answer was no. Hey, Dr. Smith, have you heard of a market dominating position? How do you start to differentiate yourself from all of the other child psychologists within your industry? Well, for him, if you look right there at the middle of the screen, he had 9 opportunities to create a market dominating position, because he was an expert in 9 very unique areas of his profession. So to your question, I am going to share the first example when we carved this out for him was to really focus on emotionally disturbed children. So these were kids that have emotional issues. They are, they struggle to control their emotions. They're combative, they're yelling, they're kicking, they're cussing and fussing. Apparently it's not a thing to beat your kids anymore, like it was when I grew up, at least. So a lot of the parents come to a person like Dr. Smith here looking for solutions, right? So when you start to apply the conversion equation, what was the first thing? Do you guys remember what the first part of the conversion equation was? Y'all didn't know there was going to be a quiz.
Interrupt.
Interrupt, right? So this is a landing page that we created for the doc. Tell me, what's the interrupt on this page? If you're a parent dealing with kids with emotional issues, what catches your attention?
Screaming kid.
Screaming kid, right? Next would be the headline. Remember, the interrupt is also, it's the first thing you see, which is belligerent Billy. That's what we named the kid here. And then we also had the headline, hey parents, are you sick and tired of the yelling and belligerent attitude of your child? Right? If you're a parent that deals with that, that's probably going to hit home, right? So what's the second part of the conversion equation? Now that we interrupt, we may have your attention if you're a parent dealing with this. What's the next part?
Letting them know that you have the solution.
All right, let them know you have the solution. So we call that the engage, right? The engage is where we present to them the solution or the result that they want but don't have. So do you want to know the secrets to controlling your child and restoring peace and quiet to your home, right? If you're a parent dealing with this child, that's going to engage you. And now the educate and the offer is, if you give me your name, your email address, I will send you a series of videos to help you solve this problem in 60 seconds or less. Does that sound like an offer you can't refuse?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Targeted at the right people. That's always key. Understanding their emotional state for their buyer's journey. They're going to want more information. Fred, just to jump over to you really quickly, sir. I've been on the calls with you where you take the bottle and you spray it in your mouth. You have some amazing educational opportunities, because every time you do it, I'm like, no, don't. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So,
and it's funny, every time we do that, we make a sale.
There you go. So the educate and your offer opportunities could be very unique. And that's what you want. You want to be unique. I want you to be the only. I don't want you competing with other companies in that field, right?
Kara, is that a new hand?
Yeah, I do have a question when you
yes.
have a chance.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
No, please.
I'll put it down. So my question is like, this is great for emotional type situations, because obviously that's gonna kind of hit you in the gut. But how do you make a compelling offer for like in my case, like back-end services where there really is no emotion and no kind of obvious profit, you know, kind of a, like they can't see the profit, like admin stuff is not profitable, but it's foundational, needed.
Well, Kara, give me like 2 more slides, and that's where the conversation is going. I want you all to take an opportunity to apply this, and we'll come straight to you and talk about how to work it out in your business, if you're okay with that.
Yep. All right. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Diamond. Did you ever fix the mute? All right, you're still muted, so we don't hear you.
Mute. Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I was looking at your slides. So far as my notes, it say interrupt, which is to get the attention of the crowd, engage, which means you present your product.
Let me jump in really quick. When we say interrupt, I want to be very specific for you all. You have to present to them the problem they have and don't want. So it's not just get their attention, because this could get your attention. But if I tell you, hey, parents, are you sick and tired of the belligerent attitude of your child? And you're dealing with that, that's a different level of getting your attention. So interrupt, problem they have and don't want, guys. But
Okay.
sorry, please, what else?
Okay, and after you engage and you have their attention, you engage them into your services, and then you offer the services, correct?
Not on this first strategy that I'm presenting to you all. I'm presenting you all a strategy that will allow you to collect their contact information. So then you can market to them at no additional costs. That's the strategy we're talking about. So interrupt, engage, you're going to present the solution they want but don't have. And then you're going to make an offer to educate them, give them the information they seek about your business, about the work you do. And then the offer is going to be, I'll give you this information in exchange for your contact. Fred, please. Oh, you guys are muted.
Yeah, another question. When you went back to the doctor, he had a list of about 6 or 8 things, right? And now you've taken just one.
Correct.
No, the others are still important. How do you address some of those? Because you might be leaving so many people who don't just need that. How do you address that? And I'm probably thinking you're going to address that later.
Yeah, so no, that was a perfect thing to identify there. So this doctor had 9 market dominating positions that we could create. This is just one, but we did the same thing across the board. And then what you'll find, so for all of you, if you have multiple products or services or things in your business, I would say, what are the top 3 most profitable products or services in your business? And that's where you start.
Okay.
This isn't a one and done strategy. We're building an entire continuum of success in our business, but you can't do it all at one time. Remember the 80-20 rule, right?
Okay, thanks.
All right, so again, even with the doc here, his script can apply to this. So instead of the original video, now we're going to update the video. We're getting rid of the offer, the call me now free consultation offer. And we're coming back with the offer. Again, we want their contact information. We have to have things in place so we can market to them without spending more money. We can't afford it in most cases as small business owners. Jesse, please.
Maybe you're going to address this later, but let me jump in there.
Please.
Does that mean that instead of having one website where our messaging is to list all of the different topics that you do or different services that you offer, that we should have different landing page for each offer.
Now, if you all work with me, you're going to be landing paged out. So landing page, let me ask, who's familiar with the landing page? Do you all know what we're talking about? I see Dr. Kelly is. Carolyn, I saw a head nod. Kara knows what it is. So really quickly, guys, when we talk about a landing page, it is a one-paged website where there's nothing else you can do. Not a lot of buttons that'll allow you to navigate to other places. And then there are different types of landing pages. So this type of landing page that you're seeing here is specifically called a squeeze page. And we call it a squeeze page because its only objective is to squeeze the information out of your prospects. So we want their names, their email address, and it's going to squeeze it out. If you want this information, right, it's a tit for tat. I'm going to give you this and in exchange for something. So yes, if you all do not have systems for landing pages or constant communication, so that's called a CRM. Every small business that I work with, you got to have a CRM. This is going to save you so much stress, time, energy, money, or systems, right? Remember the systems that I said. CRM needs to be at the top of the list for systems for you all. Did I over answer that, Jesse, for you?
You did a great job. Thank you.
All right. I just wanted to stress that landing pages are fire. Websites, maybe, maybe not. Landing pages, the answer is yes. Diamond, coming back to you again. Oh, you're muted, sister. We need to.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
What exactly do CRM stand for?
So customer relationship management.
Okay, just double checking.
Yep. So a CRM, and there are several systems out there. I'm going to give you my very biased opinion just to save you a lot of time in your search. Keep is honestly, I think it's the best CRM system. It's what I use personally in my business, and it's what I recommend to all of my clients if they do not have it. And I am a registered partner with Keep. So if you all pursue it, or if you all want me to come back and maybe highlight the power of CRMs in the future, but you got to have a CRM. You don't have to use Keep. I'm just trying to save you some time. That's all.
And I'm just going to jump in here as well. Within the OFC, we also have BillMate, which is a member of the OFC that also offers CRM. So I'll put their information in the chat as well.
All right, perfect. But it's not an option. You got to have one. All right. So guys, let me move on past this. Hopefully, again, y'all manage my time because I could probably over educate on a lot of this stuff just because the passion and energy to make sure you guys got it. At the end of the day, my goal, I've said it a couple of times, is to make sure that you all can create a market dominating position. I want you all to be seen as the authorities, as the experts, really as the industry of one. Because chances are your competitors are not doing what we're talking about right here today, and that's your opportunity. And don't feel like you have to go super big or go all out, right? You just got to start to take the first steps, which we're going to get into in just a second, to highlight some real quick results for the impact for Dr. Smith. What we started to see at the time, he did have some Facebook ads going. He was getting about 300 leads per month. Off of that, they were converting right around a 2% at most value. So those 300 leads would turn into about 3 new patients per month. When we set the targets up for him, we wanted, technically 100% improvement. So we wanted to take him from 3 new patients to 6 new patients every month. We exceeded that, but our targets alone set him up because he was doing about $800 per new client that he got per month. So we projected a $2,400 increase. the math alone from that one element, so this was only with that one market dominating position, projected, and it exceeded over $28,000 for the year. So the other part of that, I said, know your numbers. When you're making moves to tweak your marketing, don't just, finger in the air and try to figure it out. Let's put some real goals. So then you know if you're heading and projecting in the right direction. Cara, I'm coming over to you, but here's a great moment, just a few minutes, because I do want to at least maybe get through one or two more strategies before our time today is up. Let's talk about applying it into your business. So really quickly, let me give you kind of my quick hacks for how you can start this process. And then Cara, I'd love to invite you back on the microphone to tell us more about what you do. And maybe let's brainstorm really quickly what that could start to look like. So the hack, the way to get started with this, I mentioned a number of things leading up to this first one, but you got to know your customers, your clients, your prospects. Who are they? What's the journey that they're going through, their pains, their fears, their goals, their desires. I got to understand who your clients are. And then what are 5 frequently asked questions that your client will have about your business? You go ahead and figure that out, or go find your ideal client, even go to some past clients if you have them, and just simply ask them, hey, what are 5 questions you have about X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that you all do. So that's hack number 1. Hack number 2 is asking what are 5 questions that they have about your business that they're not even asking. The questions they don't even know to ask. You can go ahead and say, yeah, Jarvis, thank you. You asked me that question. Here's the question you should have asked me. And that set of questions, that's where you start to become the expert, because nobody is asking that set of questions. Cara, let me come up and just quickly ask, tell us a little bit about your business really quickly. Let's maybe kind of dig into that for you.
So I help other small businesses, it's a consultancy mostly, other small businesses increase their efficiency and productivity by implementing systems and process improvements. And we really focus on comfort, client comfort, client engagement within the business. So we have a product side as well as a service side. Most of it is service, but we also sell products to help increase efficiency and productivity. I'm sorry.
Well, let me jump in really quickly and just ask, so why is it important to increase productivity and efficiency?
To save people time, energy, and effort, as well as money.
Okay, so why is that important?
Because you don't want to be in a business and all of your money is going down the drain because you're doing tasks, you're doing them manually, or you're duplicating efforts.
All right, so could it be fair to say that you help small business owners stop throwing their money down the drain?
Oh yeah, that's good, yeah, like that.
Right, so now you're starting to sound different. Now you're not an administrative back-end person. Now you're a consultant that helps businesses stop throwing the money down the drain, right? And I mean, of course, I'm just only kind of going fast for time, but we can keep going down this path. I mean, really, probably at the end of the day, you help small business owners reclaim their time, spend more time with their family, their children, find more success in their business so they can have the impact maybe that they're trying to have within their businesses, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. Reduce the divorce rate. Yeah, all that.
And then what's one question that you always hear from your clients or your prospects? What's one thing they just always ask you?
Where do I begin? And how can I not save money, but it's usually around overwhelm. So they're typically overwhelmed and don't know where to start.
Okay, so imagine creating whatever your favorite form to communicate is, whether, if you like to write, then do a blog. If you like to talk, but you don't want to be on video, do a podcast. If you are comfortable being on video, then do a video, right? But what if you just offered up a video on 3 ways to get started with an expert that will stop you from throwing your money down the drain?
Okay, That sounds good.
I'm just freestyling here, y'all, but that's how you get started. Now go craft, because you're an expert, Cara. I'm sure it's going to take you all of about 37 seconds to create a video where you're going to make, a whole bunch of quick points. That video only needs to be about 2 to 5 minutes at most. Hey, my name's Cara Morgan. I am an efficiency expert who is renowned at helping small business owners stop throwing money down the drain. And here are 3 ways you could get started with me today. And then you lay it out, points 1, 2, and 3. Hey, thanks for taking time to watch this video. Click the link below because we're on a simple landing page. Click the link below. That's going to take you to my calendar. Go ahead and book some time.
Okay, good.
I mean, that again, I'm freestyling, but that's, know your clients, know their heartburns, know their goals, and then you can start to put, pull all that together.
That sounds awesome.
Jarvis,
Yes, sir. Yes.
are you doing landing pages plus websites, or just landing pages only
For the
business?
work.
Yeah, for business owners.
Yeah, so we tend to just we'll focus primarily on the landing pages to get the momentum. We'll upgrade or, kind of clean up websites as needed afterwards, but on the front end. And it's not just landing pages. Actually, perfect segue, Dr. Kelly, I'm going to use your question to jump into the next strategy. So it's not just the landing page, but having that offer. Once you collect their contact information, now you have to build out the additional conversations that you're going to have. Remember, I said it will take multiple touch points to get people, the information and to really kind of pull them into your ecosystem with the work you do. Let me ask really quickly, everyone, who's heard of a drip campaign? All right, I see a couple of hands here and there. All right, perfect. So drip campaigns, you may also hear them called nurture sequences. Basically, this is our process to follow up with any of our prospects over the course of time. So remember, again, I highlighted it really quickly, but most people, if you all are meeting prospects or clients that are ready to buy right there on the spot, they just walked into your shop and they're handing you money, chances are that's what we call that now buyer. The now buyers only represent about 3% total of your buying population. The other 97% of prospects, they just want some more information. They're probably willing to walk with you or have you walk with them down the buying path. But if you don't have a process in place, you will lose them. What I want you to understand here is that 80% of all your sales will fall somewhere between the 5th and the 12th point of contact, only if you have a process in place to do the follow-up. So a drip campaign can start to represent a very automated way to do that. I do want to highlight really quickly now, it can be done online or offline. I love doing postcards. I love doing handwritten letters from time to time. But it, what's very popular, what's very common nowadays are going to be emailed sequences because that is super automated. But just know online or offline, but that process is still the same. So coming back to the doc's example here, we noticed, with our new process, he was getting to 300 leads per month. 60 of those leads were opting in, kind of, going ahead and providing the information to get the videos. And then out of that 60, 6 would convert into new clients. So the magic question now is, what do we do with the 54? Do we lose them and never, ever, ever talk to them again? Of course not, right? So this is the power of a drip campaign now, having an automated set of communications that can reach out, nurture your prospects and clients until they're ready to convert. So for the 54, what we also predicted is that at least 2 new clients per month would come if we set up a sequence of touch points over the course. For us, we did a year. I encourage all my clients, you're going to do a minimum of 8, maybe 8 to 15 at the most. Some of my email sequences, I have one where it's 27 touch points. I have one where it's about 49 touch points. So just know, and these are not things you do overnight. You will write one email per day, take 30 minutes an hour. And then over the course of about a month, before you know it, you got about 7 to 15 at least emails. But the point is, you want a predictable system in place that will stay connected with these folks. So for the doc, this is what it looked like. Every month we were getting the 54 people on average, plus or minus, right? But 54 people every single month. But then after the new month, 2 people would become clients. And then after the next month, 2 more people would fall out and become clients. So every month we were getting 2 new clients simply based on the drip campaign. But guess what? Every month we'd also get a new batch of 54 coming in. So this month we're actually getting 4 new clients because again, there's a compounding effect. We want incremental improvements in our businesses that can have big results over the course of time. So what we ended up seeing is that his normal marketing process would produce 72 new clients. His drip campaign alone created 156 new clients. Now, this is a blessing and a curse, y'all, because now, and I call these good problems to have, but a problem is still a problem, because now he was at capacity. He got to a point where his drip campaign was producing 30 plus patients every single month. So now the easy solution is turn off the ads, save money, especially, stop feeding the Facebook monster, and just let the drip campaign work. And then when we needed to reload the drip campaign, you kick in with a few more ads, refill the funnel, right? So again, this is the power of a drip campaign. Again, your CRMs that you all will look into will, help you establish this automated sequence of communications. But there's a program called Syndicard, at least here in the US, maybe they exist in Canada. But you could do postcards, you could do handwritten letters. The more automated, the better. But the real power here is a drip campaign. So imagine really quickly, if you all saw a 5%, maybe a 10% improvement on revenues simply by implementing a drip campaign. What would that do for your business? Would that be valuable? Right? And again, this is an example of a strategy here, everyone, that there is a small upfront investment for whatever system you may want to look at. There are some free CRMs. There are obviously, again, paid ones like Keep, or I'm sure, I forget the one Farrell mentioned as well.
BillMate, I put it in the chat.
BillMate.
Jarvis,
yes, sir. Yes.
I noticed you said that the doctor stopped. He had more customers than he needed. Are you accepting customers? Because I know that listening to all of this information, for some of us, it's a lot of information. And with that being said, some of us may need some guidance from different levels. I mean, I ran advertising agency for 40 years, so I understand everything that you're saying.
Yes, sir.
But I also understand clients and customers. And sometimes, it's a lot of information to get in your head all of a sudden. And I'm pretty sure with this level of expertise that you have a lot of customers. Are you still accepting customers, or is there some kind of, other than workshops, is there some kind of videos that you may have that can kind of break it down in smaller chunks, so that some of us who are learning and hearing about CRMs and drip campaigns, and I know you said drip campaigns, but I wish you would have said, ask everybody what is a drip, because some people may think a drip campaign may be an acronym for DIP. So, but I did want to ask that question. Are you accepting, customers, or do you have any kind of way that people can learn this information, because it's a tremendous amount of information for newcomers?
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for that feedback too. Nobody's ever said, Jarvis, this is a lot. So I appreciate hearing that too. So the answer is yes, I'm always accepting new customers to work with. I have a mix of coaching solutions, whether it's one-on-one coaching, In January, we're kicking off 2 new group coaching programs. And then I am inviting folks, I'll share my link to my calendar if you all want to have a conversation and talk about creating this strategic plan just simply for your business. That's something I do at no cost for small businesses. And I'm happy to make, extend that offer for everyone here. And Dr. Kelly, I appreciate that feedback though. Because I think, so this is a much longer workshop and I think I'm kind of going fast just to make sure I can do as much as possible in the time, but that's great feedback too. So, yeah, no, thank you. I'll post it in just a second, the link to my calendar, and yeah, please. I hope all of this is taken in great stride. Just looking at the time, let me get.
And also, sorry for cutting you, brother. And for those who are connected to the OFC, know that this is also recorded, and we will make it available to OFC members as well.
Perfect. Now I'll do one more quick strategy, maybe to Dr. Kelly's point. I want to make sure you all can pause and just, really reflect. I do want to make space for the conversation. If you, Jarvis, how do I do that in my business, right? And then I want to highlight kind of my call to action, which is really take action. That's the biggest thing I do want you all to do following our call today. So the last strategy that I think will hit pretty well today is around joint ventures. And I know I called someone out. One of my folks on the line here does have joint ventures. Maybe it was Cara, if I remember correctly. But my question here is, do you all have joint ventures? What does that look like in your business? And yes, Cara, if you could share with us, what does a joint venture look like in your business?
So I'm a part of a group of Black consultants, and we work with other organizations, not just in the Black community, but also in the broader community, where they're looking for to create strat plans or needs assessments or EDI type of implementations in their organizations. So we work primarily with EDI, anti-Black racism, and like I said, needs assessments, training and education. And we do that from a lived experience and an anti-colonial lens.
All right, and Cara, I'm curious to ask, do you all have like formal agreements on how you all will support each other in the relationship? How have you all established that?
So we have processes put in place, and again, because I'm the process person, that was a big part of my offering. Nothing written. We're all independent consultants, so we all have our own businesses, but it's an agreement between us that, for instance, I do the work plans, somebody else will focus on the budget, someone else will focus on the documentation, so the presentation of our offer.
Nice.
And
So
then we
you
have
all-
somebody that coordinates everything else. Mhm.
Okay, so then you all almost present as a team then, is that what it is?
Exactly. Yeah,
Nice.
we call ourselves a collective. And yes, absolutely. We don't go in individually as each other. We go in as this organization, which is called Calabash, actually.
Okay, I love that. So that is strategic partnerships next level. So good job, love that.
All right.
Pharaoh.
I think like the two that come to the top of my head, if I'm understanding the question, is the BNI partnership that we have, where we leverage the tools and the resources and stuff from BNI, which is a business networking, one of the largest business networking organizations on the planet. And the other one would be with the Pan-African Council of Quebec, where they have a strong reach throughout the continent in Africa and within the French regions of the province of Quebec. And again, like, we leverage different resources and contacts and our network to support the members at whole. So is that what we mean as a strategic partnership?
Yeah, so it sounds like it. So the definition, guys, when we're talking about these joint ventures, strategic partners, affiliations, endorsements, there's so many different names for them. But basically what we're talking about is when at least 2 or more businesses decide to collaborate, or like Kara said, form a collective. I love that word. So mine, I call it the league, because I used to want to be in the league growing up. I'm a former football player myself, but when you all decide we can do more together than we can apart because we serve very similar customer profiles, that's all we're talking about. So whatever that relationship starts to look like, whether it's products, services, sharing or marketing each other back and forth, absolutely. So Pharaoh, yes, sir, those are spot on. So the example that I want to highlight really quickly, let's say if we were a florist company, all of us are in business together, and we identified that the most financially lucrative product line in our business is when we get to provide services for a wedding, right? Now, when we think about what it takes for a couple to get married, we know that there's a chain of events. A lot of stuff has to happen before they're finally ready to get to us as the floral company. So the concept here is understanding, and this is, I have yet to find an industry where this does not exist, y'all, is understanding that there is an event chain in just about every industry, and your business, lies somewhere in the event chain. So for a couple getting married, nothing happens until somebody goes out and buys a ring. And then they may want to talk to a wedding planner. They got to go find a church, a chapel, a synagogue, or whatever. The young lady may want to go find a dress. The groom may go find his tuxedo. And then they finally get to us as the florist. And then there's things that happen after us, right? They're going to go find a wedding cake. They're going to find a printer, a DJ, a limo, a vacation spot. So there's a whole chain of events. So I'll go ahead and kind of set you up for this one. What's the event chain within the world that you all live in? That's the takeaway here. But let's say that for us, since we're somewhere right around the middle of our event chain here, we have to also understand that anything that happens before us in the event chain, we have no control over. So in that circumstance, we're looking for people above us to push the customers into our business. And vice versa, the people who come behind us or the businesses or services that come behind us, we can push customers into them. And on the front end, we'll obviously get new business. On the back end, we can set up commissions or referral fees, et cetera. So if we were getting one new referral per month from the groups above us, and we sent out one referral per month. And let's say for every wedding event that we do, we get $3,000 in new revenue. We only get one new referral per month. So that's 12 new jobs per year. Then we've effectively increased our revenue by $36,000 off of a very conservative ability to build relationships. So this is why I think this is one of my favorite strategies. This is just the cost of time, y'all. Build the relationships. You do have to build them sequentially in the right order so they take root. So Kara, hopefully, with the collaboration you got, it sounds like you all are doing this at a very high level. That's for the groups who may send customers to us. But now on the back end, if we make a 10% commission for every referral we send out, and they're doing about $3,000 in business, well, that's an extra $3,600 right there, potential in this quick example. But by the end of the year, off of a very conservative approach, we could be up $40,000 in our overall revenues simply by understanding where we may lie within the events of all of the purchasing processes for these customers and building relationships. So let me stop there and just ask any thoughts or questions, but my approach, at least to get you all started today, what are two businesses or services that your customers may need before they get to you? And what are two businesses or services that they may need after they get to you? That's how you get started here, just thinking about that. But again, it requires knowing your customers, their pains, their goals, et cetera, like we already talked about, and then understanding your position in the event chain. Let me stop there. Any thoughts or questions?
I just want to say that's amazing. I've never thought of it like that. I just gotta give you kudos for that. That is awesome. Like it has me thinking completely differently. So that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, Pharaoh and I had a great conversation, I guess, a few days ago. And when I say a brother that gets an idea and jumps on it and takes action, so very impressive. And Jesse, that was an absolutely beautiful young lady there.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're conquering tensions. Yes.
All right. So no questions. Again, just because of time, I do want to highlight what I call my profit growth, the calculator that we talked about earlier. I'm going to do a really, really quick example just to kind of close us out today, because I do want to respect your Saturdays. I know, y'all had a lot of options today and you chose to be here with us. So Kara, let me come to you really quickly before I go to this example.
Okay, first of all, I agree with the comment about Pharaoh. He's definitely a doer. And the second, my question though is, so two questions. If you're at the end of that chain, that event chain, so you're the last person on the ladder, so you can only really refer people, right? So how does that work for you? Because you have no one after you to.
So that was the perfect, y'all are just giving me all kinds of layups today. The perfect question, and the way that I would answer that, Kara, really quickly, is you feed the chain. So let's say for us, right, in this example, we're in the middle. Let's just say even if we were at the bottom of the chain, what if we created lead magnets and we started drawing in leads and contacts and fed them back? So when people want information, they're about to get engaged, they're trying to figure out their wedding, we were the ones that say, hey, go to this ring or jeweler. What if we said, go to this wedding dress shop, etc. Right? We can actually feed the chain and get paid for the referrals that we send up the line. And of course, they're going to send them right back. So that's kind of a double dipping. And that is totally okay.
Okay, and that's perfect, because my next question is, how do you set up the referral arrangement? Because some people, they say, yeah, I'll do, or they just don't do it. It doesn't even occur to them to compensate you for sending them business.
Well, notice that was my first question to you was, do you have agreements in place? So you got to, if I'm coaching, I'm putting on my business coach hat right now for you, Kara, you got to get it in writing. Now, it does not need to be super formal, litigious, like contracts, and I'm going to take you to court. I personally like MOUs, memos of agreement, where we could just say, hey, look, Kara, you and I, for the next 12 months, we're going to agree that I'm going to figure out how to send you 3 leads per month. You send me 3 leads per month. And every quarter, we are going to go grab coffee at the local coffee shop. And we're going to just make sure we're both happy. At any point, if we're not happy, we're going to shake hands and say, hey, I wish you the best, and go about our lives. At a minimum, that conversation needs to be had. But no more hookups and high fives and, that we are business people, right? So I want a real business relationship. I want the trust. I want the respect. And I'm going to do the same for you. And then we have to be prepared to work for each other at that point.
And how would you know how much they made off the sale?
You got to open up they got to be open. I mean, that's a part of the relationship.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah, please.
Kara, maybe you can look at it from a different perspective. Instead of looking at it as you're doing referrals, maybe look at it like you create a business where you're actually hiring them to do the business, utilizing that client. And then that way, you know how much money is going in and out, as opposed to you're waiting on somebody to say, well, they only gave me $75 and then they gave them $1,500. And so that's just another way to tweak it, because again, you're really in the power position because you have the client. And the client is going to listen to what you say regardless.
Okay.
Even when the person comes in, the person's going to say, "Well, how did you find out about it?" And that's just another way to look. That's how I would look at it, because then it allows you to put how much money you want to make on the client. Because again, people buy people. They're not buying the service really. They really are buying people. And so if you have a friend of yours that's charging, let's say $150 an hour, and you say, well, I want to charge 50% or 100%, I want to charge $225 an hour, they still got to pay you, you still got to pay them. Everybody is happy, as opposed to you running behind somebody to get your money when you're the gatekeeper, or you're the chief collaborator, so to speak. I use the word collaborate more than I do the other words. That's what I would suggest. That's just what I would suggest.
That's beautiful.
And there is no wrong answer, but the mindset that I want to leave you all with, we are all business people.
That's right.
So let's have grown-up business conversations. Let's be able to look each other in the eye, shake hands, and come to an agreement on whatever that looks like. Put it on paper out of respect for each other. And then we go to work. I mean, you know, if you find people you could collaborate with, I'll say for me, and then I'll jump into my last example, so I don't hold you all up. Before I come to an agreement with a potential person to collaborate, I do want to see the mission, the vision, the values of their business. What are you built on? What's your purpose for existing as a business entity, right? And then once I understand your mission, vision, values, and I look at mine and I'll share mine, if they are jiving, then that's the cornerstone of the business relationship we're about to get into. So if nothing else, Cara, you know, I'd say take your mission, vision, values, and I know that's the elementary things they teach us about business plans, but that's the most important in a lot of ways. Ask them for theirs. If they don't have them, you already got a decision to make. Wow, this person hasn't even taken the time to think about their values. Do you want to do business with them? If they have, just see where they fall. And if it's in alignment with, you know, now you start to get on the same page, but you're in a relationship. And I'm just saying, make it official.
Thank you both. That's perfect.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for those thoughts. That's perfect as well. Guys, so to close us out, I'm coming over to one of my favorite tools. This is something that my team and I set up for all of the clients we work through. And it's, you know, I highlighted right at the very beginning of our workshop today, the impact that can be had off of all of the different areas of focus for generating more leads, more transactions, profits, et cetera. Let me ask this question really quickly. For you all, who has created what I like to call the $1 million milestone? So who in their business has said, you know, I'm going to make $1 million in my business? I'll be the first to raise my hand. That was the first thing I said when I started my business. So, all right, I see a couple of hands. Cara, thank you, Jesse. All right, so, and I'm speaking from the perspective, again, being here in the States, and I have to imagine the numbers are somewhat similar in Canada for my Canada folks. What percent of businesses do you all think make more than $1 million per year? So feel free, throw some numbers at me.
In the Black community or in general?
Just in general, and just know that if it's in the Black community, it's probably gonna be worse than the norm.
Probably about 7%.
7%, awesome. Fred, I heard someone say 5.
Yes, 5.
5, all right, Kevin, thank you.
15.
15, what else? All right, I'll take you out of suspense. So Fred was spot on, only about 7%. And here in the US, there are about 32 million small businesses here in the US. Small businesses make up 99% of all businesses here in the US at least. And only 7% of those make more than $1 million. One more question really quickly. How many or what percent of businesses do you all think make more than $100,000 per year?
15.
Yeah, probably about I would say about 12%.
About 12%.
25%.
I heard 15. I heard a 35.
I would say, yeah, 40.
About 40. Somebody is very ambitious. So the answer there, guys, only 14%
It's pretty
of
close.
small
I said 15.
The message there, always listen to your wife, right?
Yes.
Actually, I told him 7.
But I voiced it.
I love the humility there too. But no, so at least again, I'm only speaking towards the US, everyone, but only 14% of small businesses will make over $100,000, 6 figures, right? So 84% of all small businesses don't even cross the 6-figure mark. But what if I told you you can make the profits of $1 million company without making $1 million? Would you all be interested to see that really quickly?
I will.
All right, so
Novatech.
Yep, feed me, brother, feed me.
all right, so let's say we have your average company in the US is making $1 million, is doing about 50% on margin. They are doing about 20% on gross, 50% gross, 20% net. So your average $1 million company is making about $200,000 a year in profit. All right. So I just said only 7% of small businesses are doing above $1 million. So let's say for us, we're all in business together. We're doing about $250,000 in revenue. That means we're only doing about 50,000 in profits if we're at the same 50% gross, 20% net. So my question to you all really quickly, how do we make up the difference? How do we make $150,000 in profit in 12 months? What would you all do? Question for everybody.
Lower expenses.
Lower expenses, cut costs, absolutely.
Duplication. You need more people to do what you're doing.
Duplication, more people. So I just, Pharaoh said cut expenses. Now you want to go and add expenses. All right, but that is a strategy. Do more work, right? Sell more stuff, make more products, but it comes with some expenses too, though.
Yeah.
Because as I say, the effort of one, you can do much more if you're duplicating your services as opposed to you doing everything. That's what I meant.
So some partnerships potentially is what I also hear in that.
And find
some of your prices.
And find people who can do things that you can't do. So that not only does it save you time, but it also gets you to the number. Because a lot of times we don't know our number. We know we have a blueprint, but we don't have a green print. Find some people to help us with our green print. Find the money.
Dr. Kelly, I am still in that, sir.
That's a word.
I call it the case method, everybody. I'm going to teach y'all this case method. Copy and steal everything. Case method. The blueprint and the green print. I love that, sir. Thank you. All right. I want to ride on what Dr. Kelly just taught us, though. You got to know your numbers first and foremost. So again, everybody, I mentioned financial processes being one of those 6 key processes. Make sure you partner with a great bookkeeper and or CPA duo that can provide you these numbers. You got to know your gross profits. You got to know your net. But now that you do, in this scenario we do, what if I told you for us, it only requires about a 6.6% improvement in these key areas. And again, these are all the key areas that I started touching on today that are in the book that was shared with you. For all my clients, these are the 12 fundamental strategies that we start with, and I have more, but these are our starting points. A 6% improvement gives us $150,000 in profit before the end of the year. Is 6% overwhelming? Because we started our conversation today talking about the overwhelm, the stress, the anxiety. Is this a way that you all can see that maybe if I just get really clear on taking action, that it is possible, a 6% improvement? All right. And of course, all of this can change uniquely based on your unique business model. But let me highlight one more quick example in my last 45 seconds. I mentioned, guys, that the majority of small businesses are not making 6 figures in revenue. So let's say if we were only doing $50,000 per year, and we're still doing our average 50% gross, 20% net, then we're struggling, right? We're only making $10,000. That's $10,000 in the bank based on our business. That is far below the poverty line here in the US. And this is what I tend to see from a lot of business owners more than not. They're really struggling because of this. They're not making enough revenue, and then their profits are not strong enough. So when I come across a client like this, my first goal is to help them double their revenue, or excuse me, double their profits as quickly as possible. In this scenario, we're talking about a 2.7% improvement will help you double your profits. A 2.7% improvement in a lot of the same stuff. So Pharaoh mentioned cutting costs, figuring out, let's just round up and say a 3% improvement in your costs, right? I already talked about creating a market dominating position. You got to differentiate yourself. That's the foundation of anything marketing based. We talked about joint ventures, developing relationships and seeing about a 3% improvement in your performance. So my goal with this last kind of closing bit of our conversation today is just to say, know that strategically, you can frame this out in a way that you can be very successful without the overwhelm. I invite you all again, please jump on my calendar. I posted the link somewhere in there. I could post it again just so it's at the bottom, but if you all want to go through this kind of step-by-step for your business, no strings attached, I'm happy to do this for you. If there is an opportunity to share more information about any of my coaching programs, as Dr. Kelly asked earlier, love to have that conversation too. But the real gift here is just the opportunity to share that strategic plan. And I know I am a minute over. So let me stop there and just see any thoughts or questions before we let you all go. Kevin, please.
Yes, can I have the link of this website, the website you make the calculation?
Yeah, let me try to find it real quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so Kevin, to your question there, you all can play around on this one, but it'll probably make more sense if I drive with you, but you all can absolutely play. There it is. It's attached to my main website.
Amazing. Right. This has been exceptional. Sorry, Jarvis, you had something else you're going to say?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Pharaoh, thank you again for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, man.
I'm just giving you my virtual round of applause here, guys. I think this was exceptional. Within 2 hours, I feel that this has been huge value. I strongly recommend that everybody who can take an opportunity to book an appointment. It will be life-changing, business-changing. I'll also reshare the link for if those who did see value in what we discussed today and you would like to make a contribution to support the OFC, please do so. And if you're not a member of the OFC yet and you're interested in being a member, I've also shared the link there in the chat, but you could reach out to us at any time. So with that, guys, we'll close this up and respect everybody's time. Again, I'm grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm also grateful to our ancestors just creating this opportunity for us to be able to get together this afternoon. And I just ask that the information that we receive, let it continue to bless us, let it continue to bless our businesses, that they be able to continue to grow, expand, support ourselves, our families, as well as our communities. Guys, I want to wish you an amazing rest of your day. For those who are in Quebec, enjoy the shoveling because we got mad snow outside. And for everybody else who's in the United States, it's awesome. I do want to highlight the fact that we are global, guys. We have members from a little bit all over the world right now, from Dubai, shout out Kevin, different parts of the United States, LA, Atlanta, New York, different parts of Canada. I have people in Ontario as well. So big shout out to everybody, and shout out to my 2 boys, my sons who are on here, Adonijah and Huey. They're 15 and 18. I'm glad to have them on and taking part. So big shout out to the next generation coming up and doing the thing. Guys, again, blessings to all, and I'm wishing you guys again an amazing rest of Saturday. We'll be in touch.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was
so
great.
much.
It was
Thanks,
great.
girl.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings, everyone.
Thank
Merci,
you.
merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Call me Jarvis. Call me Jarvis.
All right.
Definitely. Dr. Eric, we're connecting soon. Jarvis, we should have a three-way. Just get everybody on the line. I think that'd be great.
Jarvis will be in touch.
I look forward to it. Look forward to it.
Great job.